Hello and welcome to this session on avoiding back pain when driving. My name is Catherine Kazishian, also known as Catherine Yoga Cat on Facebook, and I run the Yoga and Healthy Aging for Women with Scoliosis Facebook group. Plus, I'm a yoga therapist based in Victoria, BC, working online and in person. And this is a topic that many people have asked about, and it's close to my heart. So I'm very excited to share with you today ways in which we can reduce, avoid, and manage our back pain when we're driving. Feel free to put any questions in the chat or unmute and ask a question. I'm going to share my screen now as we're going to have a slideshow. There we go. Welcome. And today we're going to cover how you can naturally reduce your pain, stay freely moving, and improve your quality of life, feel calm, mental peace, feel empowered and confident, and drive without fear of a pain flare-up. So I'm going to share the top 3 ways that you can reduce your back pain when driving and also to prevent it from happening in the first place. We'll also cover the top 3 mistakes I see that people make when they're trying to solve this problem. So a little bit about me is that when I was 18, I found out I had scoliosis because I was in a trampoline accident and I hurt my neck, and I went to a chiropractor who treated me for the whiplash and said, "Oh, you have scoliosis." And I was like, duh, I don't know what that is, but my back hurts. So I didn't really pay too much attention, being a teenager who wasn't really that active or in my body. And eventually I did find my way to yoga. And eventually I noticed that sitting in chairs, having office jobs, things like that made my pain worse. And I started to pay attention to what made it better and what I could do to feel better overall. I've also been in some other accidents, some car accidents, unfortunately, which has made me really pay attention to driving and being in cars. So I've been paying a lot of attention to this. And after years of experimenting with yoga therapy, energy work, body work, learning lots of holistic tools, life coaching, and different ways of managing pain, I now have the knowledge and skills and tools to live with much less pain and feeling much more confident and hopeful and empowered, and with a lot of tools in my toolbox to both prevent, manage, and support myself. And that's all without using drugs or surgery. So I'm here to share some of this knowledge and tools so that you can feel better. Now, you might know this because it's pretty big news, but chronic back pain is the #1 cause of absenteeism from work in the under 45 age group. This is huge. This is such a big problem, widespread, and it's a complex problem because there's different types of pain. But generally, the old way of looking at this is just do what you're going to do some exercise, whatever, but not thinking about too much about how you're moving. Just do it. Whereas the new way involves mindful movement, slowing down, pay attention to your breath, and things I'll talk about more. The old way was simply just following direction and not really understanding your own anatomy. So that means not knowing what scoliosis was about, like me, not understanding your curve pattern, not understanding what the factors are, the anatomy and physiology of yourself as an individual with a spine that's calling for attention. And so the new way is to get some education, understand how pain works, how the brain works, how the danger signal system works, and if you have scoliosis, understand your curve pattern. The old way that is still recommended in a lot of cases is to just take drugs and surgery. And nothing against drugs and surgery, those are appropriate in some cases, but they're not complete, and they may come with some side effects and challenges of their own. So the new way, what I'm sharing, is to use holistic methods that will help on all levels and will not have side effects. The other old way is to just give all the authority to the doctor and just to do what the doctor says, do what the physio says, and follow blindly. And again, that's also incomplete because they're not going to live with you 24/7. You're not going to be able to call on them every time something happens or, have a question. So the new way is to be actively involved in your health plan, have a comprehensive approach and sense of what you are dealing with. Then the old way would be the passive treatments. Again, something like chiro, massage, acupuncture, and physio. I use all those treatments. I'm not slamming those treatments. They're important, but they're incomplete again. And also, I don't have that person living with me every day to help me every time I need help. So the new way involves some tools that you learn yourself that you can use everywhere, like when you're driving, you're going on the trip. So you may have gotten the sense this is a multimodal approach, right? Looking at multi-factors, because chronic pain is a multi-factor issue. So it may require a multi-pronged approach, just like scoliosis. And the reason I'm so passionate about yoga is because I found it's worked for me and many people I work with. And you can see now it's being studied. So for example, there's a 2016 literature review that reviewed a whole bunch of studies about chronic back pain, which showed that yoga in almost all the studies found yoga can reduce pain and disability. So I can send that link for people that want to look into it more, but it's very easy to find. We put 2016 yoga and back pain and you will see it. So the verdict is in. That's one example of reviews of studies. There are lots that show that, but you can take charge of your issues and you can make a positive difference. It's not just drugs and surgery. There is some empowering things you can do. But I want to be clear here that, that situation was a review of different types of studies, different types of yoga, different populations. So it's really a matter of being specific to your situation. And it's very hard to be prescriptive for something that's non-pathological. For example, there's so many factors that contribute to back pain. We can't have a one-size-fits-all solution. And this is why, of course, a big part of why it's such a big problem. So for those of you who are here want to learn more, you've come to the right place. If you do have back pain that worsens when driving, if you want to move through your day with ease, and if you're ready to take consistent action towards feeling better, you have faith in the possibility that you can do things to improve your situation, and you want to learn, grow, and discover. So sometimes change is scary and we fear it. So it's helpful to have a practice like yoga, like meditation, breath work, any number of things that help you deal with those fears as they come up. And you're also in the right place if you have tried a lot of A, B, C, different treatments, chiro, physio, Pilates, and even yoga that have had limited success. This is not for you if you're a person who just wants to sit on the couch, doesn't want to try anything new or learn anything. You prefer passive treatments and drugs, and you don't want to look at the emotional component. So if you're here, you're in my sphere, you found me, I'm guessing you have some kind of sense of the importance of a holistic approach beyond just the physical. And you do want to learn, grow, and take action and empower yourself. And likely you already have explored a lot of different things. So I'm curious if any of the following scenarios that we're going to look at are familiar to you. We're going to look at the top mistakes I see and the top solutions. And note that these aren't mistakes in that they're bad or wrong. There's no judgment here. It's more that they're often only addressing part of the issue, so they're incomplete. And a partial strategy is most typically only leads to a partial result. And that's not so motivating and encouraging. So number one is over-reliance on tools, meaning the external factors. And I'm going to show you right here. See, I have my lovely little back support with a movable cushion for the lumbar. So I can adjust. Now that's a great tool for me to have. And I have a similar one in my car. But that's not the only thing, So if I just put that in my car and think, okay, I've taken care of the problem. No, I haven't taken care of the problem. I've got a tool, but it's not the whole enchilada. This is just one aspect to consider. So what is the solution is to look at my movements. So the external environment is supporting me, but I need to look at also my movements. What's triggering my pain? What are the positions that are least supportive and more supportive for me? So for example, how you get in and out of the car. I had a student who had a lot of sciatic pain, and she was showing me how she got in and out of the car, and her legs and pelvis were all wonky. And this was a very clear strain for her sacrum. So keeping the legs and pelvis together is really important. Using your core stability, your deep abdominal muscles. Another one is people, especially with scoliosis or neck issues, steering. Think about it. If you have one shoulder lifted, one rib cage, side of the rib cage rotating, going into your convexity. I have lots of students talk to me about how, oh, it's so nice. They love to turn the steering wheel one way. They don't like turning it the other way. So they're really leaning into their pattern, the one that's easy for them. So it took some awareness for them to notice this. And this is part of the solution here, is to pay attention to your unique body position, your unique way of moving in and out of the car, steering, how you're sitting. For example, are you letting your knee fall inward? I see that when I'm pressing the gas, because that's what my leg normally does. The knee falls inwards instead of outward. Some people, it might fall outward. These are all things on a checklist to take care of and address. Another thing is very common. Someone asked me about neck mobility and shoulder checks. They have a hard time with shoulder checks because of their neck issues, right? It's hard for them to look side to side. I know one elderly woman, she's got multiple things happening with scoliosis. First of all, her bucket seat is tilted backwards, so she's rounding her back. It's making her kyphosis worse. It's making her round her spine more. And then her upper back is sticking out, her neck is sticking forward, and it makes it really hard for her to turn her head side to side to do the shoulder checks. Plus the fact that she's so tiny, now she can barely see over the hood of the car. And she says, oh, well, I just don't drive at night. And, you know, she's accommodating and adapting. But really, what could help a lot is getting that seat level. First of all, learning to roll the shoulders back and down the spine, to open the chest, find a way to improve her posture to sit tall, and be doing these neck mobility exercises in her regular everyday life so that she'll be able to safely do a shoulder check. So there's some tips for you. Things to think about. That's mistake number one. Solution number one, body mechanics and your position. Mistake number two, I see, is not thinking about it, basically. Not preparing for the trip in any way. Just jump in the car and go. And many of us lead very busy lives. We can't think about every detail before we're going somewhere, of where we're going somewhere. We might have lots of errands. We have other family members. You know, we have places to go and things to do. But remember that driving is essentially sitting in a state of alertness. Hopefully you're alert and attentive, hopefully not stressed and creating more tension in your body. So it really depends on your environment. If you're able to set yourself up for success, prepare your body and mind for your trip, this will go a long way towards keeping the tension down and reducing any chance of increasing or exacerbating your pain. So that's the solution, is start your day, start your trip with intention. This is something that you can customize for yourself to be whatever works for you. So if you've done your yoga practice early in the day and you've done a lot of opening the chest, stretching the spine, lengthening the side body, the lumbar, creating space, you're feeling tall and spacious, great. You can get in your car and feel that your posture is going to support you and you're ready to go. You'll be less likely to be compromised. But if you haven't, there's a few stretches you can do. A few breaths just right before you get in the car, right before you start your trip, so you can avoid that inevitable gravity compression of sitting in the seat. So remember, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be something complicated. It can be very simple, short. Do them in a way that works for you. And then the mental one is really important to create the intention, the mindset, be clear in your body, mind, and spirit. Okay, where am I going? Why am I going there? Do I want to arrive stressed because I'm late or because whatever? Do I want to arrive calm? Choosing how you're going to experience it makes a big difference. I have one friend who says a prayer before she goes. I have another friend who looks at an image of her yoga teacher. There's lots of things you can do that will help to keep you calm, centered, and grounded. So what I'm going to do is a little demo here, and I invite you to practice with me if you like. Something short and simple you can do. Say you got in the car, you're about to go somewhere, you have 2 minutes to practice getting ready. You don't have to rush off. You can simply soften your eyes or close your eyes, whatever's comfortable for you. And simply rest your hands on your thighs if that works. Notice your breath coming in and your breath going out. And you could, if you like, place your awareness on your feet or your seat, wherever you feel support. For a couple of moments, become aware of that support. And when you're ready, the invitation is to place one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest. And if that doesn't resonate for you, you can have them hovering just above your body. And feel the weight of your hands or the sense of position of your hands. And in your own time, you can place your awareness at the top of your head, the back of your crown. And there's an option, if you're curious, to simply lengthen slightly up the back of your head there. And if you do that, you may feel a sensation in your neck or upper back. You're welcome to have a couple more breaths here. Just observing how you feel overall, observing what it's like to pause. And if it feels right for you, take a breath in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. You could repeat that, a soft, slow, smooth inhale through the nose and a soft, slow, smooth exhale through the mouth. Even sighing it out or shh or ah with a bit of sound. And when you're ready, you slightly, softly flutter your eyes open and notice what there is to notice. So that was maybe 3 minutes. Super short and simple way to find yourself being centered, grounded in your body, aware of your breath, clear of where you are, and then able to move with intention towards your destination. Now we'll move on to the next mistake. You can see it is the lack of time. And again, not technically a mistake, but something that I find in my life. I try, but I'm still cramming more into my day than is probably useful, or yeah, trying to fit too much in, or overestimating how much time I have, or underestimating how much time it takes to get out the door and go somewhere. So let's say that you are in a similar position and you're about to go driving and you haven't managed to practice any yoga, do any breath work, any other supportive movements. So you're not feeling centered, you're not feeling expansive, you are already in pain. But you just need to go where you're going, right? I know that's the reality for a lot of folks. Well, there are some quick, simple, effective things you can do to simply move in your seat. Now, I'm suggesting these as things to do when you are at a stop sign, or just before you go, or just after you park. Don't distract yourself while you're driving. But my point here is to get the idea across that movement is so super important for people in pain. Soft, slow, gentle, small movements can make a big difference wherever you can fit them in. So especially if you know that sitting in a car is aggravating for you, be extra diligent if you can to get the movement in before. If you can't get it in before, here's some things you can do in your seat to help relieve the lower back tension and hopefully prevent anything from worsening. So I'm going to show you and move back, give a little demo, and also you can try them out if you'd like. Let me go sideways and a little bit back. So the first one I'm going to show is very small pelvic tilts. If you want to try it with me, try with your hands on your hips, the tops of your hip bones. And you can do it with or without the breath. It's like a mini cat-cow, if you know about that with yoga. Seated cat-cow, but simply going with the hips. Tip the hips a little bit forward, and then tip the hips a little bit back. If you're moving with your breath, I would do it on an inhale as you tip forward, lift the chest. Soften the top shoulders, and as you exhale, release your tailbone back and slightly round your spine. Inhale, tip forward from the pelvis, lengthen and open the front of your body. And as you exhale, rock back. So you may not do this full movement while you're driving. You might just do the hip part while you're resting at a red light, or just before you get out of the car. There's a few of these when you get into the car. These are the quick and dirty kind of things that you can do. Simple solutions. But the soft, slow, smooth, mindful tilts like this help get your brain into your body and support your nervous system into letting go of tight areas. Right? For many of us, it's the lower back, and the upper back can follow suit if you go with the shoulders, awareness of your shoulders and upper back. And I'll show one now, the second one that works a little more with the upper back and the lower back together. So you can choose. So this will be right before you go somewhere, or right after you're parking, or you can just do the leg part without the arms. And what it is a walking movement. Move back a little so you can see the legs as I track my one knee a little forward of the other, and then slide it back as the other knee goes a little forward. I'm showing with my hands, also sliding on my legs to show you the action. And this is very small. I'm exaggerating it a bit bigger to show you across the screen, but you can keep this very, very small. It's simply a variation of the action we do as humans that walk, which is one of our core key activities, walking. So if you've been sitting in the car for a while, and this goes for being a passenger or a driver, you can at least shift your legs a little bit, one at a time, getting a little bit of gentle movement in. So those two things I have found highly effective, short and sweet, simple things that you can do. that don't require anything special, a lot of time or a lot of tools. Okay, so let's get to our conclusion here. Moving in your seat, which we just did. So here's what we've covered. So that the pain when driving can be reduced, prevented, ameliorated, managed. There's many more strategies and techniques than I've covered. These are just a few we've covered today, including preparation and intention. So getting yourself in the best shape as possible before you go, and bringing your mind on board, bringing your breath on board, getting yourself centered and grounded. And these short and simple practices, like that grounding one we did with the hands on the body and the breath and feeling support, as well as what I just showed with the pelvic tilts and the walking. These are really simple, short and simple, but they are very potent. So I hope this was helpful today. If you have some ahas or takeaways, things you want to share, did this help you look at driving and the challenges of pain in a new way? Feel free to unmute or share and type them in the chat, or you can send me a message. I'd love to know if this was effective or not. One thing that somebody had shared also, I've heard from a few people actually, is that they kind of get tailbone pain and sacrum pain, especially if they're driving standard and they have to keep switching, moving their gears, moving their legs. So that becomes into the realm of like a repetitive strain injury. And so this is something where the regular yoga practice can really help, because you can work with finding which muscles are involved, and then you would do some work to strengthen and tone the opposing muscles and stabilize the whole pelvis. So that is something that I do work with, and it can be quite effective. Thank you so much for watching and sharing, and this is what I'd love to do. It's part of my purpose to help the world in this way, to share the tools and things that I've learned, the knowledge that I've come across from yoga that's helpful in order to help other people hopefully reduce their back pain using yoga therapy based techniques. I've put it together in a method called the Radar method, so people can be active and enjoy life without limitation. And now I've combined it into a Freedom from Back Pain program, and this is a 12-week program of personalized support with some go at your own pace videos, as well as personalized sessions to address the root causes of pain. And I am excited to work with people in this way because I feel that it's transformative to go really deep. So what people achieve by the end of the program is a significant reduction in the back pain, so they feel better in their body and stop thinking of pain all day. Increase the core strength, back strength, and stability so that you can do your daily movements, your work, any other activities, housework, etc., exercise without fear of causing a flare-up. Get the deep, uninterrupted, and comfortable sleep without the need for relaxants, and this is key to get down the inflammation, to let your body be in the rejuvenative sleep stages, so you can feel happier, rested, and enjoy yourself as even when traveling. This program helps you to work on the emotional level, to feel confident in yourself, be able to handle stress without creating tension in your body. And then if there is tension, because of course, naturally tension comes and goes, you'll have tools, you'll know what to do about it. And you can fully participate in your social events, work events, as well as your leisure activities, so you can enjoy the time with family and friends, be of service to others, do what you want to do without worrying about the limitations or whether you can keep up. My aim is to support people to be more in tune with their body, aligned on all levels, and break the pattern of tightness and achiness, pain and exhaustion, so you have long-term relief. One of my students, Morgan, shared that she's been continuing using the skills and techniques You caught me, and I have really noticed an improvement in my back. I feel stronger and have had very little back pain. And when I do feel pain, I'm able to use the yoga positions accordingly. So this is a young woman who has a very physical job, and she has scoliosis, and she recognized that she needs to learn how to look after her body so that she can continue to her job well. And she also noticed the benefits of her mind without even trying to do a lot of meditation, just simply being mindful with her yoga practice translated into being able to handle family emergencies with some equanimity. So if you're ready, you want to explore how this program or working on with a yoga therapy practice could help you, then book yourself in to have a free call with me. I call it a breakthrough call at yogacat.ca. That's my website, yogacat with a K, and go under book an appointment or schedule a call with Catherine and choose breakthrough call. This is for a big picture discussion of what's your current situation, what challenges you have, as well as what you'd like to experience instead. My job is to support you in formulating the overview and the overall strategy and plan. Because lots of people come and talk to me and they sort of have a piece, oh, I have this problem and I want to solve this problem. But really, these calls are more with a strategy of life coaching so that we zoom out and look at the big picture so your solution is sustainable with specific goals and milestones that help encourage you to continue working towards your goals and enjoying the process. Here's what one person said recently who came on the call. Thank you, Kat. I really appreciate the time you spent with me today. I've not experienced a life coaching session before. It was quite eye-opening. It put many of the pieces together instead of randomly floating around and not knowing what to do with them. April 6, 2025 in my calendar as a goal date. I'm feeling excited to begin the journey. I'm actually blown away by how positive I currently feel. And that was Jillian C. So I hope that was very helpful for all of you today. I was talking quite quickly. I want to give lots of value in a short period of time. And if you have any questions, feel free to write them in the chat, or you can unmute now, ask questions, or send them to me later at yogacat.ca. On my website, there is a question form. If you're not on my email list, I'd be happy to send you the information that I have, because in addition to this training, and in addition to the 12-week program, I have other shorter offerings and smaller offerings with less commitment that may be of interest to you, and new things all the time. So do tell me what you're interested in, and thank you so much for being here.